A sudden and violent event rocked the peaceful village of Carancas in the far-flung Andes Mountains of Peru. With explosive force, a mysterious light streaked across the midday sky and crashed into the ground. A 12-ton meteor was discovered in a huge crater at the impact site, but the aftermath was even more concerning. Animals and villagers started experiencing mysterious illnesses, which led to worries about poisons or even foreign infections. The boundary between science and the unknown is blurred by the terrifying mystery surrounding the Carancas meteor strike. The inhabitants of this small village, which is high in the Andes, are alarmed by a strange light that flashes up in the midday sky and starts to speed dangerously in their direction. Ward. A small asteroid entered the atmosphere over the Peruvian village of Carancas, and the residents saw what they believed to be a falling star. And the thing ripped through the air. This is a fairly large object, likely the size of a small car, and it is entering the atmosphere at a speed of 28,000 miles per hour. Then, almost at the very edge of their village, it strikes like a nuclear bomb. They also witnessed this ejecta cloud ascending into the sky. A trail of smoke was visible in the sky. They were frightened. Shatner. Curious locals start to congregate near the impact site despite their fear. They find a water-filled crater 20 feet deep and 100 feet wide. Deep within the earth, they also discover a 12-ton meteor. Even though the enormous crater was a breathtaking sight to behold, a mysterious sickness afflicted many of the nearby villagers. Hugh Newman. Many people were attempting to catch a glimpse of the meteor strike, or even a sample when it occurred. In reality, however, it caused a toxic reaction that left many people gravely ill. They began to experience what could be called radiation sickness, Andrew Collins said. Furthermore, they began to see similar suffering in their animals. What was happening here then? Was this something more than a meteorite that had fallen on Carancas? Shatner. After being exposed to the Carancas meteor, over 200 people were admitted to the hospital. They reportedly experienced symptoms that ranged from respiratory issues and skin rashes to nausea, dizziness, and excruciating headaches. Shatner. Although many villagers thought their illness was God's way of punishing them. Man. Senor Jesus. Shatner. Doctors started to believe that a lethal toxin had been released from deep underground by the meteor. This 100-foot wide crater was formed when the meteor struck the Earth, which is one theory as to why people became ill. As a result, people now think that they might have contracted poison just from the meteor striking the Earth. Collins. The high concentration of arsenic in the ground near Carancas is a known fact, and likely this was also vaporized. And this was among the things that were causing the animals and humans to become so ill. Shatner. Could it be that arsenic was released into the environment by the impact of the Carancas meteor, poisoning anyone who came into contact with it? Or did it bring in an unknown interstellar infection? Word. The possibility that biologics could exist on a meteorite has long been questioned by the scientific community. Some sort of alien microbe or something in a meteorite, you know. Amino acids, sugars, and water are all present in meteorites. These asteroids contain all the elements necessary for life. Is it feasible then? Of course, Graham Lau. The notion that viruses or some other type of harmful bacteria or cells could descend from space and land on Earth, perhaps as a result of a cometary impact or bringing some of these dust and material grains with them, has been present in science fiction for a very long time. Shatner. Is there proof that harmful pathogens were brought to Caracas from space? The question of exactly what biologics might have landed on Earth is still hidden deep underground, even though Robert Ward and his team managed to collect a tiny meteor sample from the impact site. Ward finding this big meteorite that we thought was at the bottom of the crater was, of course, our ultimate objective. We were so close. We were standing on the edge of the crater, where water was being pumped out. The mayor halted all work just as we were about to discover this massive, potentially multi-ton meteorite at the bottom of the crater. It was very disappointing that the excavation was not going to happen. Shatner. Was there proof of extraterrestrial bacteria in the Carancas meteor? Even though we might never find out, the prospect is genuinely terrifying. Germs and diseases from space that could reach Earth through an asteroid or other impact are my greatest fears. By definition, once the virus has arrived, it will resemble all of our other viruses. There won't be any concrete evidence that the virus originated in space unless you happen to catch a meteor in the act of spreading it. It's still pretty unlikely now. The possibility of a virus becoming trapped in an asteroid and then landing on Earth is not as absurd as people believe, but it is a little more likely that you simply contract viruses on Earth.